Hey everybody, we're out here at the Honda Media Day. GDR Fox brings us all out, and we meet some of the new Honda brass, talk to the riders, just kind of have a little bit of a ambiance setting and a welcome to the 2025 season, and kind of talk about the history and everything that's gone in behind Gopher Dunes, and then of course the Honda team that kind of meshed together here. This facility in its own is one of the biggest and brightest across the nation, and they now have a race team. Frank, the dad, digs the son. They culminate together, sometimes fist fight, have fun with it. But we're bringing lots of fun stuff today. Talk to the riders. It's going to be a good time.
It's been fun being back. Been back for like 2 weeks now, so yeah, just getting back on the bike here. Finally getting to ride my race bike, doing the photo shoot yesterday, and yeah, we're getting ready to go. Yeah, no, it's good. I mean, I'm not the best at the talking stuff. I'd rather throw whips and do stuff like that, but yeah, it is what it is, and we are a part of the team, so you have to do it. But I mean, it's fun. It's better than a lot of stuff. Like this team day that he puts on with the media, the press conference and stuff, that I think is really cool and good for the team, good to build the sport. See how it goes. I mean, honestly, I'd like to do some supercrosses, maybe some world supercross if it's a possibility. Honestly, I'd like to do all that. Just if the chance comes up, I'm going for it for sure. Like if I get to do supercross, it would be unreal. I mean, the goal is still to go back down to the U.S., but see what happens. I'm not too sure, but yeah, if I win another championship, if I don't go to the States, yeah, I'd be 450 here.
Yeah, everything feels great. Obviously coming back from an injury, and the bike's a lot different than mine. Suspension's different because they have the amateur races before the pro day, so the track just shapes up a lot different and stuff like that. So yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, it's pretty fun other than the first day when we had to stay up till 2. And then yesterday was pretty fun when I had to do an interview and Dylan had to sit there for almost 2 hours trying to help me finish it. But yeah, it's pretty fun. Yeah, it's obviously an asset. He's really fun to be around. He jokes a lot, and yeah, he's obviously fast on a bike, so you learn a few things from him. I feel like the first couple rounds I kind of gotta ride the best I can, and then later on I'll have some bigger goals because I'm just coming back from injury and haven't done a race in a while, so yeah.
I think it's the biggest thing from the outside looking in is different than what everybody else does. I mean, photo shoots have always been around, even going back to early 2000s. We always did photo shoots, and it was a one-day type of thing, couple corner shots, and that's what it was. But obviously, this is a lot of work doing this for not only the riders, the mechanics, the team personnel, the Gopher staff. But this is what separates, like, if you look at the amount of content that came out of today, like, that's enough to pull you through the whole year in a sense, right? So I think that's why our program is like a lot different. Derek does a very good job on wanting to be different. Because if you look at it, photo shoots have been the same for ages. So it's kind of like, how many times can you see the same shot or whatever? So lots of different stuff here. So I think it's important on that side. I'm sure some people from the outside looking in think like, man, that seems like a lot of money or whatnot, but this is what Honda likes, and that's why we can continue to keep racing and have big budgets, is to do different things. For sure, and I mean, last year, obviously I touched a little bit at the media day, like, it was something that was going to happen eventually. I mean, you can't continue to be dominant like that on Dylan's side. I mean, you don't ever want it to end, but it has to, and it has to give everybody a little bit of a reset, including myself, including Derek, including the mechanics, and sponsors even, right? It's like, this guy's human, and we all make mistakes and whatnot. But as far as moving to this year, I mean, obviously we changed around personnel again on the mechanics side. We got some really good guys. Obviously Jeff sticking around, which was huge for the program. But just like what we've talked about, just having positive, outlook on it. I think our bikes are better. The overall Honda platform is better this year than last year. There's no question on that, which obviously gives Dylan more confidence. And I think Dylan's off season was substantially better than even last year's, even though it was about the same time, but just the opportunities that he had with some testing. So I think all positive, but like I said, I don't. I want to make sure everybody keeps it right around here going into first round. And even if round one goes good, we don't need to go up to here. We need to keep it back down here because we know how hard it hurts to go from here to here. It sucks, and we don't want to do that again. For sure. I mean, I think with Dylan, obviously, is just keeping him, planted. Maybe that doesn't make sense, but we don't need to win by 45 seconds. 10 seconds is good. But I know he wants to come in and prove a point right at round one. Every time he rides a motorcycle, he likes to freaking put the hammer down. And that's just his mentality, and it's hard to bring that back. So I guess that's mine and his mechanic's job to try to keep him in play on that. But, for sure, Dylan obviously wants to be back to that number one spot. We know it's not going into round one, perfect season again, blah, blah, blah. Could he do it? Absolutely. There's no question in my mind he's that good. But it's going to be tough. But yeah, definitely win for him. McNabb, same thing. I mean, he has no excuses. I mean, he had great experience being south of the border. Obviously, it didn't go well, but he is a two-time Canadian champion. So how can we not have that pressure on him to, we should have that points lead pretty quick, and that's what we want out of him. Viney, I know when you talk to him, he's very confident in everything, which is awesome, but it's baby steps for him. Honestly, he's coming off an injury in Supercross. He's a phenomenal rider, but I just think that he's a goal-driven rider that we need to make realistic goals for him. And honestly, he probably wouldn't agree with me, but if we get a 7-7 or a 6-6 at Calgary, I'm high-fiving him and we move on from there. So do I think he can hit a podium by the end of the year? Absolutely. But I just want baby steps, and let's keep him mentally in it for the whole thing. No, nothing really. I mean, like I said, new crew. I mean, the boys have been grinding back there. This is a lot of work, especially logistically, and that's one thing. We don't have any full-time staff, so this is like we're all logistics. So me being on the West Coast, Derek being here, Jeff and Colton, who's Noah's mechanic, are on the East Coast, Nova Scotia. So we're literally spread across. And then we got Corey in Ottawa and Abe, which is just down the road. So logistically, it's a fun time, but really happy with everybody's effort, and yeah, just looking forward to get going.
Yeah, you know what? I came up with this idea, I think 4 years ago, to hold this press launch for the start of our season. And the reason why I thought it might make sense to do it is we do all this work in the off season. The riders are training, mechanics, everybody's working hard to get stuff ready. And then we show up around one, and everybody's too busy, it seems like a lot of times, to take care of all the media stuff that needs to be done. And I felt riders are getting pulled in every which direction, and they're trying to focus on the race, and sometimes the media stuff ends up getting looked or overlooked because of that. So I felt it was important that we do this so that way we can take care of a lot of that and really dedicate some time towards it. And it's worked out great so far, and I think the reason why we've kept it going is after I did it the first year, came up with the concept, our sponsors loved it. So, if they're happy and they're liking it, you got to keep it going. Noah, we're looking for somebody, there's a ton of kids that are just looking for an opportunity. And I feel like there's a lot of kids out there like him that show a bunch of speed and potential and that type of thing. And they're just looking for an opportunity with a team. So there's a good amount of, opportunity for us to pick from when it comes to that. But I felt like Noah has some really great qualities about him that I really like, and there's a lot that he brings. So we felt that it was good to give him an opportunity, and he has been with the team before as a fill-in rider, and I really liked how he handled himself in a lot of ways. Now, he's a quiet kid, so we're trying to get him out of his shell a little bit and that type of thing. And for him and anybody in that spot, kind of like that third slot on our team, I think it's about, trying to prove yourself and trying to work your way up to be the next Ryder McNabb or Dylan Wright or any of those guys, right? So we want to give young guys like him in that third slot an opportunity to try and go out there and prove themselves. We're extremely excited to have Ryder McNabb back on the team. He joined this team as a young kid. I think he was just turning 14 years old and coming off a super mini bike, and we put him straight on the CRF 250R to race pro. And he spent 3 years with us, and that culminated in winning a championship in that final season. And I felt like it was, the years at GDR for him were like kind of coming of age, as he was growing up as a teenager and that type of thing. And he wanted to go try some different things, and we ended up parting ways, not signing a new deal at the end of that 3-year contract. And He tried his hand at racing in the U.S. and a few other things, and he felt like this was a good time to kind of come back to Canada and rejuvenate his career a little bit right now, as he's had a lot of health and injuries that he's dealt with in the last 2 seasons. So this was a good way for him to kind of come back home a little bit and just kind of get himself back up and going. And he's coming in as a title favorite for sure. But even in saying that, I still feel like he's got that need to want to try and prove himself, and show that he's back and he's worked hard to get his health good and get back on that top step again. What can I say about Dylan? There's a million things to talk about. He's just a one of a kind human, and he joined the team for the 2017 season, and things didn't always go perfectly smooth for him early on. And I know at that point in time, I even had media after me saying, maybe this guy isn't a good fit for this team, and maybe GDR needs to look elsewhere, and Derek needs to look at hiring a different guy in that 250 class. But I felt really committed to Dylan, and I saw the commitment he had to me. But we also saw his flaws, and we worked through them, and felt that we were able to work well to get him through those, because he is a good listener. He's willing to try and put in the full effort that it takes to do this. And you look at him now, he's won championships in that 250 class, and he's just been clicking them off almost year after year since then. And there's so much more to him than just those championships. So like the leadership value that he brings to the team, not just with the young athletes on the team, but everybody else. If you're a mechanic or a truck driver or anybody else on the team, and you see this 450 champ working as hard as he does day in, day out, not just on the track and in the gym, but helping around the shop and putting in the long hours with all the guys, it motivates you to want to do the same. I know even just earlier this week, the guys were having a late night in the shop. They're building race bikes, and Dylan's right out there late at night asking, he was done his workouts, he was done his riding, and he was asking those guys, what can I do to help you guys? What can I do to help you finish up your day so we can have dinner together, or that type of thing? Or can I go get you guys dinner? And that's what I like about him. And he, that everybody feeds off that, right? And it's great for the young guys to see that. I want Ryder to see that. I want Noah to soak that in. And I want Dylan to keep succeeding like he is. Like everything that he achieves, he absolutely deserves. He's just a true champion and a true gritty, hardworking person through and through. It's a little bit of both on how we got there. Dylan definitely had Colton doing that with him early on, but Dylan honestly has taken it to a whole new level of how he mentors people. And we've absolutely spoke to him about it early on. And I remember his first year in the 450 class, he's moving up, it's his rookie year, and that's when we had the first sit down and talking about like, hey, you're actually now becoming the veteran on the team. You've won a championship, and we want you to start mentoring the young guys that are coming in. When it was a 14-year-old Ryder McNabb and Tanner Ward coming to the team. And we had a couple heart-to-hearts about it, and people probably looking at that point in time probably felt that's a pretty young guy that you're putting in those shoes to try and be a mentor. But obviously it's worked well, and he's taken that role seriously. But yeah, it's something that he's wanted to do and wanted to take that challenge, but also something that the team spoke to him about in challenging him with that. There's a few things I want to touch on this subject, but for sure we're watching. And I can tell you that the season that we signed Ryder McNabb to that first deal, he was still 13 riding the super mini class at Transcan, and I can tell you I watched every one of his motos that week, and I had my schedule in my pocket. I knew the riders that I wanted to race or watch race, and it's that way every season. I know, there's a lot of up and coming kids. I would want to tell them to look at somebody like Dylan Wright's path and know that like you can be a really talented amateur racer, but it's going to take you some time and some years in the pro class to really cut your teeth and make it. And for Dylan, it was several seasons before he could show that he was capable of being a race winner, and then even longer to be a champion. And that's even partially why I felt it was good to put the rider salaries out there. I know it's been talked a lot about recently, but you can clearly see a path of stepping stones from Noah through Ryder and up to Dylan. And I want a lot of families to know that, there's still going to be some probably sacrifice and expenses to come when you first turn pro, where you really got to commit and try to get that experience and knowledge to really make it, right? but there is a path to get there, to make a career out of it, and you know, try and enjoy that success as being a champion and all those type of things that come with it. So for myself, I think amateur racing is super important. I think you're going to see some more great stuff coming from Honda on the amateur side of things in the next 12 months to come for sure. And we're really excited about that. I can't say too much about it at this moment, but part of that's because the team wants to be committed on the amateur side of things as well. So it's a back and forth that we've had over the last little while on how we can better support on that side of things, and how we can keep growing the sport on the amateur side.
Yeah, I like this stuff. Obviously, I like to talk and kind of mingle and talk about the sport. I'm passionate about the sport and about racing. So, you know, it's fun. It's fun for me, you know, see all the industry people and the media and everybody. I think it's great to try and grow the sport and, you know, outreach to sponsors and different partnerships. So, yeah, I think it's great. And obviously, you know, it's fun, kind of dress up a little bit and look clean, even though it's not kind of my forte. Like, I'd almost rather be at the farm and riding dirt bikes and getting dirty, but it is fun once in a while to kind of play dress up. My wife bugs me because I'm like totally kind of old school on the whole fashion stuff. Like, she has to buy me the clothes because I don't really know that. I'm like, just give me, I don't know, a pair of pants and a shirt. I don't really care. But yeah, it was actually funny. I was traveling back from the Montreal Bike Show with Honda and flying back to Florida, and in Montreal this guy had this sick jacket, like a Muhammad Ali jacket, like retro from back in the day, and I was like, oh, this is sick. So I got like just shooting the shit with him in the security line. I was like, where'd you get it? The jacket's pretty cool. So I sent the idea to Dig, and I didn't really hear much back from it. So I was like, okay, well, cool, maybe it'll be something in the future. And then he kind of surprised me a little bit the other day with it, and he's like, hey, I actually pulled through and got it done. And I was like, oh, that's sick. So yeah, I'm happy it turned out good because, I mean, obviously I don't really know what I'm talking about on the fashion side, so it turned out all right, so I'm happy about it. Yeah, I mean, nothing's bad, so that's obviously a good start. I had a great off season this year. Like, the other off seasons had some kind of like nagging injuries or like a crash or something in the off season. This season off season went super well, so cross my fingers that I don't crash in the next couple of weeks before round one and hurt something. But yeah, no, I feel good going into the season. I think my speed's in a really good spot. I think I've progressed a little bit, but people say that every year, but I actually really feel like I'm in a better spot. Like, on the bike, I've worked on some riding stuff and just, you know, not gonna get my secrets out there, but just worked on some different stuff on the bike this winter as opposed to my normal program. So that was good, and obviously worked with like Dazzy Lawrence and Michael Byrne a little bit in the off season. So that was it's always good in Florida with those guys. They help me out as much as they can, and yeah, give me some pointers. So just been kind of trying to work on that, and obviously the bike's in a really good spot. I like our base frame this year better than last year's frame. It suits my style a little bit more. It's a little bit more stable, so I'm happy about it. I was in a really good spot even last year after Nations. I rode the bike prior to going to Nations, and I didn't really want to ride the old model anymore before, but it's what we had, so run what you have. But I'm really happy with the model. I think anybody who rides it is like, yeah, this bike's sick. So yeah, I've worked with like some mental coaches in the past. Even when I was winning a bunch, it was weird because I was working with a mental coach because I was like, I didn't really feel like after a win I'd be like, oh, I didn't get that same like high that I used to. So we just kind of reinvented the wheel to kind of I don't know, go deeper and kind of, you know, find the I guess the I don't know, the excitement of the win, because when I was winning a lot, well, I guess I still am, but when I'm winning a lot, is like a win is just normal, and then a loss, you're just pissed off, right? So we were just kind of working on like the highs and the lows a bit, and just I'm trying to stay pretty stagnant even before that, but just help a little bit. So yeah, I just work like mental coach is all right, and then on the trainings aspect of it, like I probably train harder than I probably need to, but that's just for like I just feel motivated, right? And it kind of pushes you to feel like you're ready to go on the weekend and gives you that kind of that extra motivation to go out and kill it, I guess. Obviously, yeah, riding the HRC bike this winter was cool. It started out, it was only supposed to be for a couple weeks, and then I ended up riding it for near 6 weeks almost. I was kind of riding it. And it just kind of came about because I was down in Florida riding, obviously, at the dog pound on our bikes and stuff like that. I was honestly riding a stock bike to start out with. And yeah, it just kind of, obviously the boys were injured, and they were coming up to outdoors and needed someone to do a little bit of heavy lifting for them, because they'd normally be able to get a bunch of stuff done right between Supercross and outdoors. But it's a kind of a new bike. They raced a little bit last summer, but they were trying to go in a different direction. So I was just kind of the guinea pig a little bit, and obviously it's an honor to work with those guys, and it was honestly a lot of fun. Like we were, testing a bunch of different stuff and going different directions with the motorcycle, and obviously working with Dazzy and Hutch and all the guys like Enrico doing the ECUs and everything. It was great, and I think from that I'm able to bring some stuff back here, not necessarily like hard parts and stuff as much as just knowledge on what the motorcycle likes to do and its tendencies and the direction we can go, because we don't have access to all of their parts and everything because it's expensive, because they have to buy the parts as well, right? So it's not like it's just like, oh, here you go. Yeah, no, it was good, and obviously building that relationship's awesome too, and working with those guys, because in the future, who knows if I end up getting, maybe do a little bit more for them in the future if they find I did a good job, hopefully. But we had a ton of long days at the track. Like it actually made my winter ride, like I rode a lot more this winter than I probably normally would, just doing like longer days at the track and doing testing and stuff. But it was all fun. Like there's such a good group of guys to work with. It was a lot of fun and a lot of friendly banter.